Alright guys, back out here working on the twin turbo Nova. The last bit that I filmed was about the motor and the head studs. I got the wrong head studs. They're for the other motor. I went into that. But I ordered the right ones. I can't return the other ones. I'm past the return date. So, but they're not going to be here in time for when I'm going to post this video. So I'm going to move on to something else. I've got a bunch of parts ordered that I'm still waiting on for the Nova. But for right now, I am going to take my Terminator X and get him mounted up in here under the dash. And then also I've got a giant mess of wiring. So most of the reason why it's just a giant mess is because I've been working with the RLB trying to figure out what's going on with my switch panel. And I've been swapping wires around, and I'm like, gosh, I don't want to put it all in a loom and have to swap stuff around and tear apart the loom, and so it's just a mess. So I'd like to get that kind of cleaned up. Some other things on my to-do list. I want to get that guy out of the engine bay because that is going to go with our 350 over there. That runs that, and then get some stuff tidied up. These wires are supposed to run my fans, which obviously I just cut out because I took the radiator out, getting the other stuff out. So I don't have all that in there, but yeah, just kind of get some stuff tidied up here. I'm not gonna run here. Let me get in here. I'm gonna pause. Alright, so I'm not gonna run this tack. I'm gonna have the Holley dash. I talked about that. So I'm gonna get that out, and that's gonna go with my 350 as well. So there's some wiring involved with that, and it's just hose clamped to my steering column. These I'm probably gonna send with the 350 as well. Those are just zip tied up, but get all of the lines and all of that stuff taken out. Let's see, so I got my RLB mounted here. I don't know if I'm gonna move that or not, but somewhere down in there is where I'd like to mount my ECU. So I gotta figure out where I'm gonna mount that. I'm not sure yet. I might end up moving that RLB. Might be easier. Get it right away from the ECU. So I got some figuring out to do between the RLB and if I move that, getting everything moved, and then get my ECU mounted up in there and get it all nice and tidy. So the second half of this video is just going to be tidying up wiring, getting ECU mounted. I've got a engine harness coming for it. Try and get that RLB moved wherever I'm going to put it, and then just keep tidying stuff up, get it to where I like it in here. And then once the head studs come in and other motor parts come in, I've got an oil pump coming, I got a bunch of that stuff coming. Once all that gets here, I'll throw it in the motor, film that, and we'll continue with that. But for now, I'm just gonna do the wiring and see what I can get figured out here. I should be able to get it tidied up. So I'll probably cut to a time lapse of me doing stuff, and then I'll grab the camera as I go and update. So go from there. So this is actually a little harder than I thought. I'm trying to figure out where to mount this guy, but I'm not sure what's gonna work best. So I got this, God, there's a glare. I've got that RLB mounted up in there, and then I've got a bus bar there, and then over here is not flat. I'm trying to kind of get that without the glare. So trying to figure out where this guy fits on a flat surface, it's kind of challenging. I'm not sure. I thought about building a little plate to fill in this hole over here, but I don't know if I love that. So I don't know. This is more challenging than I thought. I thought it was just going to be real easy where I want to mount it, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like going back and forth on what I want to do, so we'll see where it ends up mounted. Alright, so after some screwing around here, I think I finally got it figured out where I want this. I've got it mounted right up here. It's sitting right next to the RLB, sitting right there. I'm moving this bus bar. I'll take and I'll mount him right to the firewall. But yeah, it's only held in there with one screw right now. But that's where that guy's gonna go. And he should sit nicely up there. Got my ECU and then the RLB. So yeah, hopefully that works out pretty good right there. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Alright, so I got the Terminator. Gosh, that glare. I got the Terminator mounted up in there. I didn't get all of the wires rerouted and all cleaned up in this video, but I got that box off of there. So that's good to go. That's sitting over here with this for another project. But that's all I got for now. I ran out of time. So the next thing is my head studs are gonna come in. I'll get the heads back on the motor, and then I got some other parts coming in, and I'll start throwing stuff in the car. We just got a lot of odds and ends to do here. I've got to get all of this stuff cleaned up. That's kind of the next thing after I get the head studs in, heads on. I've got an oil pump coming. I already talked about lifters and lifter trays, and I talked about the heads too. The oil pump's coming in for here, and then I can get the timing cover on. I've got to take this flywheel back off because I have the billet barbell right here. LS billet oil galley plug, the little barbell that goes in there. So I got to take that off, get the barbell in there, and then start throwing stuff together after that. So, but that's all I got for this one. I've got a headache that's kind of killing me, so I didn't get nearly as much done today as I hoped I would, but it is what it is. That stuff happens. Alright, jumping back out here, working on the motor again. I finally got some parts in. As you can see here, I got my headers in, and then right here I got my head bolts. Down here, see if I can find a tag. Right here. There is my main engine harness. That's for the Holley, which I already got put up under the dash. So next step with the parts that I got is I got my lifters all set up in the lifter trays. Those are Texas Speed LS7 lifters. Those guys are going to get put all in here, and after that I'm going to get everything set up for heads to go back on, and then we'll keep on rocking and rolling. I still haven't got my oil pump for the front yet. I gotta wait on that, and after that I think I can button up the motor. I gotta take the flywheel back off. I've got the little barbell for the back to go in there, so I gotta pop that off quick, put the oil barbell in, and then it can be buttoned up and we can start on some other things. But yeah, I got these headers in and all those parts in, so I'm gonna time lapse me putting in lifters and getting the heads kind of up and going, and then go from there. Alright, so done with that time lapse now. I actually went ahead and threw the headers on here. I just got like 3 bolts, 1, 2, and 3. I just wanted to see how it looked with the headers on there, and then these guys aren't bolted down or nothing. Whoa! Take that guy off, and I got all of my rocker arms on. Obviously push rods in. That's all good to go. I turned it over a couple times, felt pretty good, but it's coming along. I think these headers make it look a lot more complete, but there's still quite a bit to go. I got this harness, this guy from Holley. And I was just mocking it up and stuff, seeing where everything goes and how it's gonna fit. But I was thinking that, let me put this guy back on. Maybe. There we go. So I'm not gonna put coils up here. I think it's gonna be a little too close right here. So I'm gonna take, and I'll end up remote mounting the coils on the firewall just on each side. And I think I'll have a lot better results with that. I don't think I'll have any heat issues or anything. And then also, instead of running the wires from the top down through in between everything, then I'll just take and run them under the headers. I'll be able to run them kind of out here in. So I think that'll be a way better idea anyways. But yeah, I think my next thing is I have to, the flywheel here needs to come off, and I gotta get this back cover off. And right in there is where this little barbell goes. So that's gonna be my next deal. Take that guy off and get that barbell in. And then I'm still waiting on the oil pump, but that'll come in, it'll be Tuesday. So it'll be in this video. I'll put the oil pump in and yeah, get it most of the way assembled so I can get it kind of mocked up in the car and start putting all the other things on. I know in the beginning of this video I started with mounting this Holley up in here. I got the Terminator up under the dash, So I will kind of start getting the wiring harness routed where it's going to go once I get this motor mocked up in there, and start getting stuff kind of where it's going to sit. And yeah, we'll go from there. But that's probably going to be on Tuesday, and then the video comes out Wednesday. So yep, that's what I got for now. I will probably set up another time lapse, take the flywheel off and put the barbell in and go from there. So I'll pick it up in a minute. Alright, so I just got done putting that barbell in, and it's all back together. I put a new rear main seal in it, and then see a nice shiny gasket in there. I opened up my gasket kit, and apparently it comes with the little plastic barbell, which I did not realize when I ordered this that it came with that. But here's the old guy. To get it out, I just drilled into it and then put an extractor in there, and it pulled right out. But I got that in there, a new aluminum billet one. But yeah, I did not realize that this gasket came with a new plastic one. But I don't want to use the plastic one anyways, so it needed to be done. But I got the flywheel back on there and torqued. So yeah, tonight I got the heads torqued, I got lifters in, I got the rockers all bolted down, I got that barbell replaced, the rear main replaced. I'm waiting on the oil pump for up here, and yeah, then that front timing cover can go back on, start putting stuff back together. But I think that's all I'm gonna do for tonight. It's getting late tonight. Probably pick this back up when I get that oil pump in, and we'll go from there. So I'll pick it up then. Alright, back at it with the motor again. It's another day. It's been 2 weeks, I think, since I worked on the motor. I got super busy with some behind the scenes stuff. I've got some big things coming, and I'm super excited to put it on YouTube. But for now, we're just back here with this. Actually, since then, I've got some parts in. I got my milling oil pump here, so I'm going to get that put on over here. I also chopped part of my finger off, so, but yeah, milling oil pump. I've got... if you can see in there, I got a bolt broken in this side and one in the other side that I got to get out yet. So my goal is get that on, the oil pump on, get the oil pan on there. I got to get it all cleaned out. It's all nasty down in there. Get that guy on here, drop it down so I can put my lift plate on. And then once that's all together, I'm going to set it back in here and get the headers on for mock-up. Also, since then, I got my traction bars in. They are Assassin traction bars. I believe it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's Smith Craft Racing. But I got those from them. We're going to throw those on probably next video. I'm going to focus on getting the motor together and get it kind of in so I can start mocking more stuff up. But yeah, I'm going to kind of cut to putting the oil pump in and go from there. and the oil pan all cleaned up. Get that back on there with a new gasket. And then from there I'll get my timing cover on with the new gasket. And then I'm ready to set it in the car and start knocking stuff up. So we're gonna, I'll cut to some stuff up and put it on. Alright, so I kind of skipped by actually cleaning the stuff up. But I got it kind of drying down here. Got the windage tray, pickup tube, and I got the oil pan. She's cleaned up as good as they're gonna get. I'm gonna go ahead and take and put all that stuff up under here and get it all back together so that I can put it right in there. So I'm gonna probably cut to a time lapse of me putting all that together, and then we'll get it slapped in. So I will be back. Alright, quick time lapse done. I got the windage tray, pickup tube, oil pan, front, the timing cover, all done. Now I'm going to try and drop it down since I got the oil pan. Drop it down on a block of wood and get my lift bracket up on there for the valley cover. And then I gotta get some studs out of the sides or broken bolts. And then after that, it can start going in the car for mock-up. So I will cut to doing all that. Alright, so I think that's going to do it for this video. I tried drilling that guy and using an extractor, and it just doesn't want to come out. And then whoever did this one here before I got it, it's like really messed up. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get those out or not. If not, I'll just run it how it is and it'll be what it'll be. But I got it put together quite a bit. I covered up the intake ports, but she's put together pretty good. And then I'm going to start mocking it up in there. So, but that's all for this one. So, I guess on the next one, I'll try and do the traction bars, get that started, mock up. I got the Holley wiring harness here. I've got some coils on the way for it. I've got a bunch of parts coming, so it should be good. But yeah, that's going to be all for this one. I guess try and like and subscribe. It'll help me out with this, and we'll see you on the next one.